I think that the length of this game is really taking the toll. I don't think either team expected them to be going for this long. But now we're going to see. May the best team win, I guess. Game 5, bring it on.
And I'm just going to check and see if the lobby is up. And it is indeed. We're going to jump in and spectate these games now. And it'll be the last game of the day, guys. So make sure you're here and make sure you're here to watch it. Invite your family, invite your friends, and we'll get into it. And I'm in the lobby. All other 10 people are as well. I'm just getting my streaming engineer in as well, and we'll get down to it. Alright, and we are all here, and we'll queue up as soon as humanly possible. But what a day, man.
Most definitely is. I'm just going to get myself a quick drink, but I'll be back in about 2 minutes. So I'm just going.
I think I'll do the same thing as well, and we'll talk about picks and bans when we've returned, guys. So hold on, it won't be too much longer. Alright guys, welcome back. This is Oceanic Gaming's Rumble in the Oceanic Jungle, and this is game 5 of this grueling epic 5v5.
You can't get away with saying it like that, mate. This is a grand final and we're on the 5th match. It has been so close. This is the epic grand final. We've got 2 apiece. Both teams draw 2 each. We don't know where this is going to come from. This is going to be so exciting. Either one of these teams is going to be the champion. It's going to be this game that decides it. So this is the big one. This is the reason we're all here. It is the final match. Both teams are going to be super serious. Everything's on the line. This is going to decide it. And we even see the Pantheon re-picked up again. They liked it so much. We have them having the Oriana as well. They've been so successful with that. The support Zyra have seen a lot of. Twitch been an absolute killer ADC in the last few games. Big deciding in the last 2. And the Jarvan pick up as well. We haven't seen them run Jarvan yet of the Noxius, but this should be an exciting draft. We've got the classic... I've lost your name, my friend. What's my Sand Brothers called? Nasus, there you are. Nasus and Renekton pick up the double Sand Brothers coming all the way from Egypt to come help us out here in this big epic final. They got all the works. They got Tristana for the carry, great ADC, and they've got the support Nami, been picked every game, so popular. Nami and Zyra, both teams loving those two. And Royal Chocobo thinking about the Nidalee. Love the Nid, could be really well. If they ran Nid though, I would have much preferred the Caitlyn as the ADC, so they could really just poke out, get an ace in the hole off the Nid spear, instant killer hero. But I'm not going to complain. I do like to see a Nidalee, especially when played by a really good player.
Nidalee is definitely a cool champion. It's a bit of a poke comp. She's better in a bit of a poke comp with Jace and a Janna for disengage, but she will definitely work in this combination as well. If you let that Nidalee spear on top of the Twitch, on top of the Zyra, it can do so much damage, and I think that's what they're going for. Sorry.
Yeah. And I feel like they're being serious. We didn't have any joking around with the Heimerdinger this game. It was most definitely just straight into the Nid. He knew what he wanted to do, and he wants to get on with it. They want to win this game. Both teams, they've gone so hard. They've gone 2 for 2. They're as close as they can possibly be to victory right now, and this is it. It's all down to this big final match. I can't wait to see who wins it. It was worrying at first. The Noxius seemed so strong in that very first game. They actually dominated quite strong. I was worried it was going to be a really quick best of 5. All of a sudden, VGR came back super strong, taking the next 2 games comfortably, but then the biggest one-sided match of all, the 20-minute win, came from the Noxius Gate 4 show, and they're still in it. And here we are now, the grand final, the 5th match of the best of 5. Who is going to be the Rumble of the Oceanic Jungle Champion? We're about to find out.
And I'm so keen to see who is actually going to take this one away. The teams have played so well, they've had so much practice against one another. This is the last game in the best of 5, so the score is now 2-2. And it's going to be great to see who has learnt the lessons the best, I guess, and to see who knows how to close out a series. These teams, very experienced now. They've had 4 games to work out what the team does well and what the team does badly. They can capitalize on their strengths and on the weaknesses of themselves and the opposition, so there's been a lot to learn, and these teams are going to bring it all in this last game. No more secrets. If they have a cheese strat, it's coming out now. If they have level 1 invades or anything like that, now is the time to use it. All on the line in this last game.
Yeah, it really is all on the line, and we're going to see it. It's going to be exciting. Knowing these 2 teams, they're both very reactive teams, and there's nothing wrong with that. Reactive play is really strong. You see it a lot in the competitive scene. A lot of top teams do go for this reactive style. You try and force your opposition into mistakes. The second they make that mistake, you capitalize it, and you capitalize on it big time. Especially the later the game goes, the longer those death timers are. And the longer the death timers are, the more chance you have to really dominate the advantage you get off a kill. That's why the later the game goes, it becomes so intense. Every kill matters so much. So these teams both know that, and they're very careful. However, Noxius has this Pantheon that was so well for them last time. His Sky Drops were so good. They don't have the Zac though, and the Zac's Let's Bounce really slowed them down. He's really good at holding people in place for that Sky Drop. So he's going to have to try to do it without that, but they do in return have that Jarvan. And if he can get them stuck in the Jarvan ult, that will hold them in place for that Sky Drop to land right on top of. So I believe that's what they plan on doing there without the Zac pickup. And that was because Zac was banned, and I'm not surprised. We've seen him every game he doesn't get banned because he is such a dominant force in that jungle position.
He is, and this Nasus has been played so well throughout the tournament. They've copied what the LCS players are doing. They use them to clear waves, they use them to help in 1v2 scenarios, and they use them to take early dragons, and it's been working so well. The team with the Noxius has generally done great in the laning phase. His ganks are pretty exceptional as well, so I'm so impressed with how much these teams have learned from these tournaments.
Yeah, and a lot of people are excited to see this in Italy. They must know Real Chocobo on the chat because everyone's getting excited. Apparently, he's going to land the big spears, I've been told. People really backing him up, but he has been struggling in the last few. He was really good as Cassidy. He's losing form a bit. Let's hope he can bring it back in this 5th game on this Italy pick that people are seeming quite confident with. He will be coming against an Orianna from the Oxies, and we've seen the Oxies use Orianna a lot, and their mid laner has been extremely strong with this Orianna, causing a lot of trouble, and she can farm really well. She has the shields, she's got the damage, and she has that amazing shockwave ultimate to just suck everyone in and really get a good team fight going.
The game just disappeared for you guys as well. My lobby is hiding. Let me just double check and see if they're in game. I think they might have cancelled the game completely. I'm just going to ask what went wrong. The best thing might be to host it up again and just get into it as soon as possible. I think someone might have DC'd in Champions League, and the lobby is going to be rehosted. So don't go anywhere, guys. This is the last game in this epic best of 5. Noxius Gaming vs VGR Black, and we're going to reset the picks exactly as they were. So all that's going to happen is we're going to get straight into it. The 3 minutes delay is going to start, and we're going to lose no time at all. So don't go anywhere. This will be back into the game so quickly. Alright, and the lobby is back up and just getting the shoutcasters in so we can watch the game. And the guys are restarting the game exactly as they were going to have it before. So same picks, same bans. They're not going to mess around and spend any of that time, you know, with the delay for before they pick their champion and after it gets locked in. It's just going to be a round of insta-locking and we'll get straight into it. And we are back into the game. The bans are already coming out. Pretty rapid quickly at the moment. And we'll be getting into this game shortly. So if you guys want to see the brackets or anything like that, you're not allowed to, I'm sorry. But I've also pasted them into chat.
So don't break the rules and do not click that link and look at them because you've not been allowed.
And I've also put the link to the tournament in the page. So you can see the prizes, you can see the teams, and all that kind of good stuff. You can also see the round robin brackets throughout the past couple of, the round robin from yesterday. In the round robin yesterday, they played 8 games, had 1 bye, and there were some pretty amazing games actually. And
yeah, and if anyone has just been unfortunate enough to tune in right now, these aren't the real bans. They did not first ban Heimerdinger. They're just having fun on the remake. We're not going to be long now. We're going to start at that 3-minute delay before the match starts. Unfortunate disconnect, but we're back on our way to having this final.
And we are indeed. So everything's been locked in. We're getting ready to go into the delay, and the game is going to be started so shortly. We just had a small issue with someone's client, and it's been fixed. As it always seems to happen, League of Legends client isn't very stable, New Zealand net isn't very stable, so it's been very lucky that we haven't had any huge issues throughout the day. Alright, so in 10 seconds we'll get to talk about the summoner spells after they have been revealed. I don't want to reveal anything for anyone, and they'll be getting into it. Alright, and I can talk about the summoner spells now. Alright, so there is no Ignite in the bot lane. There are 2 Ignites on Team Noxius Gaming compared to the 1 Ignite coming out from VGR.Black. Nidalee is the only person on VGR.Black taking the Ignite. It's not as necessary. The reason that there are being run 2 Ignites on Noxius Gaming is because of the Sand Brothers. When Nessus and Renekton fire their ultimates and become, you know, the deities, the Egyptian gods that they are, you need to put Ignite on them, otherwise they will just tank out and become unkillable. So I'm really looking forward to see if the 2 Ignite strat actually works, or whether they'll be punished for not taking something like Teleport that Renekton has later on in the split push phase of the game, or anything like that. How are you feeling on face value about these 2 teams, People's Whisper?
Well, to talk to you about that teleport thing you just brought up, we saw last game that Pantheon did not run teleport either, and he was actually really well timed on all his sky drops. So I think he's feeling confident he can do the same thing again. As you said, though, they do have those Sand Brothers straight from Egypt that are such a problem. They are some of the best walls in the game. They're just so good at getting right up there in the way, and they just tank everything. They're so disruptive, and they're an absolute nuisance. So they got that front wall. If Tristana can get big enough, she can be a nightmare. We know that. And if this is an AP mid, those spears, absolutely destructive. Coming from the other side, though, they've got to be careful. They've got Twitch, and we've seen plays being done with the invis on Twitch before. This time, we do have Twitch. Can go invis. We got Ori Ball, so they could try to do an Ori Ball shockwave off the invis Twitch. More likely, though, that's going to go on the Jarvan or the Pantheon, who's going to jump right into the team, try suck them all in, and get that wombo combo down. Orianna, such a strong fives hero, and so strong in the team fights. They've got to be really careful not to get killed by the ult. So good drafts coming all round. My only worry, if I was to pick out one, would be I'm a little bit worried about the AP nitpick with the lineup they have. They don't have a full-on poke comp, but they're confident in it, and I'm not going to say it's going to be wrong, because I've definitely seen AP nids rip up any sort of game, and they can be deadly enough if they get big enough. It's all about can he hit those spears. So we're going to see. It's all up to Royal Chocobo if he makes this pick work. So the pressure's on him, but he can definitely do it. It's going to be a really exciting game.
It really is going to be an exciting game. So we've got 45 seconds until the delay has ended, and we get to see what's happening. I can't wait for this game to start. This is the final game of the day, and I would be lying if I didn't say it has been a long day. We've been casting since 11 AM New Zealand Standard Time, and the games have been amazing, and they've kept us enthralled and enhanced and all those wonderful words, but it is getting on, and I'm glad to see the day heading off in this epic 5v5. So who do you think is going to win this level 1? If the teams keep to tradition, what they're going to do is they're going to run into the jungle, they're going to invade and try to play some good wards, and it'll be really interesting to see if they get caught out. I think if it was a level 1 fight, I feel like the team with Twitch, Noxius Gaming, would probably take that fight away. Twitches traditionally take Expunge as their first skill, and that has so much damage, especially in the early levels. It's more damage than Ignite. It's just an incredible amount of burst, so it would be really interesting to see a level 1 fight.
You do have to be careful, though, because they do have the Inami on the other team, and that bubble can cause all sorts of troubles in these early invades. And I was always interested when that jungle change came out, how it would change the game. And it actually seems to affect the support players the most, because you do need that vision with these late invades that are available to you now, and these new timings. You need that vision to see, but they don't want to lose the lane wards. So quite often we're seeing the supports sacrifice that buried gem or whatever, that mana regen item, in order to buy 2 more wards to place in the jungle to make sure that no invades happen so they can have a safe start. We've seen that happen quite a bit. I won't be surprised if we see that happen again.
No, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Alright guys, so we are in the loading screen. While you're waiting, it would be a huge help to me and to the People's Whisper if you went and followed our social media. So it's facebook.com/thepeopleswhisper, facebook.com/OceanicGaming, and you can also hit that follow button under the Twitch stream and give us a follow, give us a like, and it makes us very happy people, and it gives us the inspiration we need to keep doing what we do.
Yeah, you know, I always love to hear from you guys, and you can always add me on League of Legends, play games with me. I'm playing all the time. Add me on my Facebook, hit me up, be my friend. I'm always keen for it. I'm about the community. That's Find the People's Whisper. We got the game up now. I'm so excited to see this go down. It's finally here, the actual final match we're going to have in this tournament. It's the grand final, the 5th match of a best of 5. That's how even our teams have been in this tournament. We have such high quality caliber teams coming into these tournaments that they're so even. There isn't just one superstar team that's wiping their way through everyone. It is close, and the team who's going to win this definitely has earned it. They'll be taking the best of 5 series away 3-2, as close as it could be, and regardless how this game ends up, both these teams should be extremely proud of themselves.
Yeah, they really should be. Getting this far in a best of 5 is just so impressive. They've already made their way through the round robin, they made their way through the single elimination, they made their way through the semi-finals, and now it's 2 for 2 in this grand finals. It probably couldn't get any more close, couldn't get any more intense, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this game heads off, really.
Yeah, and this is the usual start we're used to. A lot of them walk down the middle, have a little look at each other, like to show each other off. Pantheon's flexing up to Nessus, showing his guns. While I do this, the supports move around and place their wards. We have defensive wards coming in here from the blue side. That's Noxius. They like to ward this red, so if it gets early invaded, they can make the play around it. Here, they've done the defensive wards and now making some offensive movements into the jungle, but they are known. They do know where they are, and they know they're known. All the harassment coming out. They're just going to back off here. They know they can't get in there just yet. But that ward down there by their red buff, we see them often do this, because if they ever go try to do a sneaky red off them, they come down once the top laner recalls and fight that 5v4. We've seen them do that a lot, and that's why VGR, do not want to invade the jungle. They know that they ward it well, and they know they have defensive plans ahead of that red steal.
Yeah, they do indeed. Right, so the wards have been placed down. It looks like Enix Dust, as Jarvan, is going to start as his red buff. Nasus is going to start, conversely, at his blue buff. It's pretty standard. You generally start in the jungle wherever your AD carry and support are closest to. That gives you the best leash possible, and it's a good start for your jungle. So we'll be getting into it very shortly.
And as I say, every game you really want in this current meta, your jungle to have that good start, so you can really make that impact in the lanes. You don't want to be behind. You don't want you to be harassed by their jungle while you're also just trying to catch up on those levels. So it's always not surprising when I see defensive starts. Both jungles just want to have a good start so they can get rolling.
Yeah, they really do. Alright, so Twitch versus Tristana in the bot lane. Traditionally, I'd give this to Twitch early, Tristana late, and let's see if they can prove me wrong, and maybe do it the other way around even. Renekton versus Pantheon on the top lane. I feel like Renekton tanks up, gets that Sunfire cape, and unless Pantheon's building a large amount of armor penetration, he's going to have a very hard time. If he is, however, building Brutalizer and Last Whisper, like is traditional, he's going to have good burst potential on the Renekton, but it's going to be very iffy around the level 6 mark when he does get that Dominus ability, his ultimate as Renekton.
Yeah, we thought this Pantheon was a bit of a surprise pick last time, and it worked out really well, but this time he isn't versus the 1v2, so he does have to go up there and prove himself as a proper top hero going 1v1. We're going to see the Jarvan come in, but he's not going to be able to really set anything up. He's just going to get the hit, and that's Dust. He just likes to have presence. He just likes to walk around. He's very patient as well. He does not mind sitting in these bushes for a while, putting the pressure on the top laner, making them wonder, is the jungler there? Has he recalled? And now he's just zoning out the Renekton, just giving that Pamp the early few levels he needs to handle that lane by himself. They might know that lane, Pantheon isn't the most traditional top, maybe not even the strongest laner to start with, and that's why Dust has spent a bit of time just helping him out, making sure he's going to be okay. And Dust is a really good jungler. He's really helped that team out. I've been really impressed with him. He's always looking out for all the lanes that are important. His rotation is always on time, and I'm really impressed. He's really good, so props to him. And I think that's going to help the Pantheon get those few extra levels and now be able to bully the Renekton a bit in that top lane.
Yeah, you're completely correct. The pause has come out. It looks like it's come out from NX as well. The NX Zyra has disconnected. I feel like they might all be at a net cafe, so it probably happens to all of them, and it should be sorted very quickly, or I hope it should be sorted very quickly. So we haven't seen too much action come out just yet. Just checking at the CS levels, a little bit in favor of Noxius Gaming, and we're seeing that reflected in a 200 gold lead, which is alright at this point in the game, but it's not really a huge game-changing swing in either direction.
Now you can see by what they've chosen to do, the Nessus has just carried on farming his jungle. That's why his CS is up at 13, and he's walking around that jungle just doing the rounds, getting his levels, where Jarvan has invested a lot of his time at that top lane. But in return for the Jarvan's loss of creeps, Pantheon has now made up those more on that top lane against that Renekton, and that's because of the presence from the jungler. So though he's a bit behind on the Nessus, it's because of that the Pantheon is quite a bit up on the Renekton. So if that trade's going to be worth it, we're about to find out. But looking at it just from the money terms of things, they're definitely up with that decision.
Yeah, they really are. Do you want to hear a joke about trees? Royal Chocobo says. I will tell you guys the punchline when it comes through. We are going to hear
this. It's a stolen the stream. Everyone's waiting for it. It's all on you, Royal Chocobo. Can you make the joke?
No pressure. No pressure.
That is the joke, my friend. It just came out. Yeah. Well done, Chocobo. That was your moment to shine.
He doesn't have one. Alright, sorry guys. We got your hopes up. We said there would be a joke about trees, but there was not. Alright, so we did see the Zyra reconnect, and hopefully the ready calls are coming out, so we are going to be getting right back into it. Alright, come guys, don't prove me wrong. Oh, the no calls are coming out. Apparently someone has gone on a small break and they'll be back shortly. So don't go anywhere, guys. This game should get underway in no time at all. And I'm really looking forward to...
coming out. Here we are. We got the last 5 seconds.
Alright, here we go. And we have resumed. Make sure to jump back to live, as pausing always misses with the lifetime counter. Alright, and we are live.
And we're going to see already action straight away. It's that Jarvan putting a bit of pressure on that Rennick. He's been giving him a really hard time. He does on... Oh man, I'm going to get real confused with these two, but it's Noxius is the jungler, and he just doesn't have the same presence that Jarvan's been having at the moment, but he is getting big, and it's Noxius. He's not the strongest level 3 hero in the game, but he is just going to keep trying to get those levels. He now knows that top needs a bit of attention, but in the meantime, we just got bot just trading. They're doing it right, just farming. Mid, they're happy to just go, both full health, both creeping nicely. So it's all just about this top lane and where these junglers are, but they now decide to go into their jungle, just get the creeps, get the levels. So Pantheon's going to have to deal by himself for now, but he is a level higher, and I think he's got a big enough head start thanks to that Jarvan to be okay by himself for a while.
Pantheon doing some nice harass on this Renekton in the top lane. I really didn't expect Pantheon to have this kind of lane presence. I'm just checking his runes and masteries. It looks like he is running armor pen in his runes, as well as 21 points in offense. So it's no surprise that he's doing a lot of damage at the moment, and Renekton's having a hard time keeping up. He is maxing his Heartseeker Strike for anyone that's interested in playing Pantheon top, and it's a good ability as well.
Yeah, he was using that last game to really burst out those low HP heroes. They have to be careful about it. It is really, it can be really deadly skill. And that's the good thing about Pantheon. There's different ways to level them. So the opposition's going to have to work out which skills have been maxed themselves. That shouldn't take long to realize how much that's doing though, and they'll quickly realize it's not the spear that's been upgraded.
Yeah, the spear spam is so intimidating. If you get a Pantheon that's running some mana regen runes, or maybe even 3 points in the mana regen mastery, he can just sit there and throw spares at you until you have to recall, and it's pretty obnoxious, very hard to deal with. But this Pantheon is going for a more balanced build, I feel. Heartseeker Strike scales way better into the late game, and is less cheesy than maxing that spares first.
I'm a spear masher, but that's why I'm not here in a grand final match. So I'm not going to say much. I think he's definitely making the right call. He would know.
Alright, so we're seeing fairly standard in the bot lane. It's just turned into a big farm war. Right now, the CS is 41 to 38 in favor of the Switch. Both the supports are doing as well as they can. Nami's actually leading the battle in 3 CS to 0.
And we got a gank in mid. It's going to just be Noxius putting on that Wither just to slow down Ori, but it's not going to be enough. They can't actually chase it up. And Ori's just going to turn around and have a bit of fun scaring the Noxius now. She's okay in this 1v2. Noxius is just going to go. He wants more levels right now, but once he gets level 6, he has the potential to just go take those objectives. He becomes so decent at Dragons, so good with Baron as well, so that's the big pickup. They love that Noxius for that reason, and it's a hero they are confident with, so he should start making some more plays a bit later on once he has a few higher levels. We see Bot getting a bit initiated on, but with that heal from Nami, it just really doesn't matter if a little bit of harassment comes out on that Tristana.
No, it doesn't. Meanwhile, we had a semi-dive on the mid lane. Orianna was trading onto this Nidalee, did the ult, did the ignite, even flash, but Nidalee just walked away from this one. Was able to heal herself. Ignite wasn't close enough to finish her, and well played by the Nidalee. Both flashes were used, however, so for the next 5 minutes, as Flash does have a 300-second cooldown, the mid laners are susceptible to a gank, and both Jarvan and Noxius are very good at ganking people that don't have Flash, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah, as a Jarvan, you'd love to have your opponents have their flashes down so they cannot escape that ultimate, so they're fully trapped in it. So that will be tempting for him to come gank that lane, especially if he hits his level 6 beforehand. But he's there now, he's only level 5. He's having a little look to feel for how it is. Noxius is actually recalling, so he won't be able to rotate if the fight comes down. But I don't believe Royal Chocobo is going to allow that to happen. He's going to be a little bit defensive and smart where he positions himself, knowing that the gank's viable. Pantheon is missing, so they'll be a little bit worried about that, but he's actually just heading towards top to that Renekton.
And yeah, it looks like it's going to fall back into standard lanes for just a little while at least. Renekton still does have his teleport. Jasmine Teely from Pantheon still does have his Grand Skyfall, so he could use that as a global presence. Some nice harass coming down on this Tristana in the bot lane. Plants into Poison Cask, into Expunge, get some nice damage down, and Zeratul falls below half HP as Tristana. Hasn't gone back yet, so doesn't have any more sustain than Doran's Blade and her Lifesteal Runes. Nidalee actually getting caught out a little bit. The ultimate doesn't come out from Orianna because it's on cooldown, funnily enough, and they're going to walk away from that one.
And I will just say, both Nami and Zara have seen a whole lot of play in this best of 5. If I'm correct, I think the only other support we've seen, we may have seen a Sona one game. But apart from that, it's we've seen a lot of Janus too. Actually, I'm wrong. There's been a few supports come up, but definitely that Nami picks pretty much every game. Everyone's really liking that support hero, and it's just because that heal in the lane, so much sustain plus a stun, can hit multiple targets. She's such a good hero. That ultimate is so useful in teamfights as well. A really good tide turner. Really good just for changing the momentum, knocking up everyone, escape or on the chase. Really powerful hero, that Nami.
Yeah, it really is. So Jarvan has rotated to the mid lane, helping Orianna push this wave down. Nidalee has a hard time CSing under turret, especially when Orianna and Jarvan are there to push her.
And Jarvan's just hit level 6, he's gonna commit, he's gonna throw his ult, and Nidalee did really well to actually get out of it. They're gonna flash as well. Nidalee will go down, but she's gonna do as much damage as she can. Actually does probably set up this kill for Nessus, but he can chase down. He does want it, and he will go for it. First blood bonus is nice though, so they will be happy to pick that up and to have killed the mid hero. The jungler does go down though, so it is a 1-for-1 trade, but they do get the first blood.
Yeah, so Nessus picks that kill up in retaliation, 1-for-1. Noxius Gaming is 1.2k gold ahead, and that's just from CS and a little bit of gold from that first blood. So they're definitely pulling ahead just from this laning phase. Pantheon is leading the CS over Renekton, Twitch is leading the CS over Tristana, and Orianna is leading the CS quite substantially over Nidalee. So it's good.
And I think they'll actually be a little bit disappointed with that first blood kill. They'll be happy that they got the first blood, but they thought they were going to get it a lot easier. It was really well by Nidalee. She actually got out of that Jarvan ult really well, and she played it quite well. Got as much damage as she could out as well to set up that follow-up kill. So they'll be happy they got the follow-up, but in the end, the first blood bonus does definitely make it worth it.
It really does. So we're going to see Nessus transition to the bot lane. He's probably going to walk past a couple of wards on the way down. Actually, the blue buff is warded, so maybe someone was going to try to steal that away, but they're not there in a position to contest it, and it looks like blue buff is going to be gifted to this Nidalee. Got to be careful that red buff doesn't take it away. It was very close to that happening.
Yeah, and Nidalee's not one to let her blue buff get contested without putting up a fight. I think they knew if they were going to go contested blue, Nidalee would definitely be there, because she wants that blue buff really badly, so she's definitely going to fight for it.
Yeah, most definitely. So, Nidalee has picked up a blasting rod and has a tear. On the other side, Orianna has got a sorcerer's shoot, a couple of Doran's rings, and a tear as well. So they're both definitely picking items that scale a little bit better into the late game than I would have expected. We're not seeing an early Rabadons being rushed or an early Zhonya's or anything like that. Orianna picks up her own blue as well. If you guys are interested in what the Pantheon is buying, he's got a Brutalizer and is definitely heading towards Last Whisper as well.
And we're going to see a big initiate on bot. We're going to see the tidal wave come out. Nessus is coming down the lane to gank as well. The Wither does come out on the Twitch. He's trying to go invisible. He will get stealth, but they're following around. It won't be too high level. It will come visible now. They've already committed to the Zyra though. They're going to get the Zyra. They're changing to the Twitch. They're following up the Twitch. They are going to commit to it. They will pick that up too. It goes to Roy Trigger. They got to watch out for the passive. The passive does come out. Zyra does get the kill on the Nessus. He could have tried to dodge it, but it was a really good aim shot. He maybe did not pay attention. Zyra's passive can always sneak out and catch you if you're not ready. But that was well done. They'll be happy for that 2-for-1 exchange.
They'll be very happy for that 2-for-1 exchange. Pantheon actually coming around after this Nidalee does get spotted by that trap. Traps on Nidalee are a fantastic ability.
The rotation from the Nidalee is being punished though by the Orianna, who knows she can shove the wave really well. And here we go, dust jumping in from the back, and the shockwave comes out. Roger with in job, he is going to jump over that Jarvan ult. It's a lot like the last time. He does get away, throws the spear, it does hit. So dust is low, but there is no one there to chase him up, so he should be able to get out of there okay. But that dust, he can actually just come from nowhere, this jungle. He is so scary. I'd hate to play against him. Unsuccessful gank, but that mid tower is going to go down, so they are going to be happy there. And it's just going to leave Rojo Chocobo a little bit rattled. You just never know where this J4 is going to fly over from.
Yeah, Jarvan's been diving that Nidalee again and again, and it's been so effective. Nidalee's fallen behind 30 CS to this Orianna. And while that doesn't seem like a huge lead at the moment, that lead is probably going to grow and grow across the course of the game if nothing happens to stop this Orianna's presence on the map.
And with Orianna, you can farm so well. And if you're against a mid hero that likes to roam, like this Nidalee, you know you have the power to shove that lane and take the tower. And that's what she has done. We're going to get Renekton get top as well for VGR. But yeah, especially if you can leave Orianna there, she may not follow through for the gank, she may let you roam, but she will punish your mid lane and you will pay the price. And that's what happens. So her tower's full health, she's farming well, and she's taken mid, so she'll be happy. They traded that just for a kill at bot on support and AD. May not be worth it now, but that's just what happens. Orianna so strong in that mid lane, and they're going to see Nasus actually get picked off at Dragon, trying to D-ward, gets called out. There's 4 of them down there, so they're definitely, all 5 of them down there, sorry. They are going to come get this Dragon. It's going to be quite uncontested. Just a few spears flying in, but they're not hitting anyone. So that's the Dragon. First Dragon, 30 minutes in, goes to Noxius.
It really does. Noxius Gaming picking up a slight lead there. The Nasus pick is quite big as well. I'm not sure if they got a buff off that. I'm just going to check everyone's auras. It doesn't look like they stole a buff away from that Nasus. So that is a saving grace. It's been really unfortunate if you get like a red buff to Twitch or anything like that. And the Dragon has gone to Noxius Gaming as well. So the first Dragon of the game at 13 minutes. It's a little bit early for Dragons, especially if you don't have someone like Nasus to tank it. But really well played to see the opportunity and take it.
Well, they had removed Nasus with a pick, and then they had all 5 heroes down there. And with 5 heroes, you can quite easily take the Dragon at this point, and that's what they knew they could do. So they definitely capitalized really well on their advantage. They've got to be careful with the Nami. She just realized we should drop the ward and see if they're driving. They're going to initiate, but what a good bubble. Keeping her alive, but he's got a Jarvan ult and Shockwave. Shockwave misses because she gets out of there. Really well done by Nami, but here goes the Sky Drop. They've got to be careful. They're going to rocket jump out of the range, though. It's going to be right. He's going to dive the tower. He gets a bit of damage on, but his barrier does keep him alive. The ult hits no one but Zyram. They're reinitiating, and here comes the massive crocodile actually owning up really good walls. Here's the barrel of the Nasus brothers, the Sand brothers, sorry, Redick and Nasus really taking it up, not taking any damage. They're going to peel really well for this Tristana. She can just pump out loads of damage. They've lost one, but they've killed the Twitch for the Royal Chocobo. The rest are going to back out, and they will get bot tower of this. That's the power of this lineup. Nasus and Redick, they both drop their ults. They're actually so tanky and durable. If your backline can just pump damage, Nami throws the tidal wave over the top of that, and it is really deadly. So they do have to be careful of this big wall lineup they have.
Yeah, they really do. That was so well played by VGR.Black to bring that fight back home for them. They were already a little bit behind. They had lost the Nasus, he got picked off, they lost the Dragon, but they were there, they saw an opportunity, and they took it. And they took 2 kills and brought themselves into a kill lead. The gold is definitely still in Noxius Gaming's favor at 20.8k to 19.4k, so they have about a 2k gold lead, and they're looking good at the moment. Both teams are looking very good.
Yeah, this is what I expected from the best of 5. Both of these teams are bringing their A game. It's the final match, so they really want to win it. A lot of big plays coming out. This one has actually been a little more aggressive than what we're used to. These teams are really starting to bring the ruckus there, and I'm really liking it. This Renek's going to go top and get that big wave, but you really see the power of their team fight when in that bot lane. Both those Sand brothers, you just can't let them get big. You can't let them become these unkillable giant tanks that just get so in the way, so disruptive, so they've got to be careful of that.
They really do, and they don't really want to let this team, VGR.Black, get into the late game. I know we saw how powerful Twitch is, and Jarvan and Orianna really scale well into the late game with their team fighting powers. But however, Pantheon drops off quite substantially, and Nasus and Renekton really don't, and Tristana is a hyper carry as well. So they don't want to let these Desert Brothers get hugely tanky. They don't want to let this Renekton get any more damage than he's already got, because he does have a Brutalizer. And they don't want to let this Tristana farm more freely than she already is, because she's finally taken a CS lead over this Twitch with 128 to his 116, and she's already built a Zeal and is closing in on that Infinity Edge. So she's already got some nice itemization paths coming down, and she's going to be in a very strong position in the next 4 or 5 minutes when she completes that Infinity Edge and her Phantom Dancer.
And I know we did see Twitch hypercarry game number 3, but the difference between that scenario and this one is Twitch was actually snowballing with quite a few kills. At this point, it's just about farms, so Twitch won't get massively ahead of Tristana unless they start getting a lot of kills on the Twitch. That's why it's worrying if you go late. You've definitely got a really good point in bringing up that Pantheon does drop off. It's pretty famous about him. He definitely doesn't have the greatest late game out of anybody. We all know that.
True.
He falls off pretty hard, but at the same time, we've seen this team. They're so well organized, and they really have... I can never go on about how much I love this jungler. He is the man on the J4, and they've always got to be careful of the plays he can create. And Noxius just a really well team, really well balanced, and I feel like even if the heroes start to drop off, they're definitely a team that can still win. And look at this, here we have the Ori ball on the Invis Twitch. They didn't get to set it off, but that's something you've always got to be worried about. It's just like the Shen Taunt, and it's cool to see Invisibility having a big play in League of Legends again.
Yeah, so a couple of comments coming up from chat. They feel like Renekton doesn't scale as well into late game as I'm talking about him. His damage is definitely not up there with most of the Bruiser top laners. However, his tankiness, after he finishes his first couple of core items, like a Spirit Visage and Randuins and Warmogs, it's pretty much impossible for the team to burst through a Renekton with his ult on and a Nasus with his ult on. So that is the late game scaling I'm talking about. The meat shield that those two Desert Brothers are going to provide scales far more into late game than the team that Noxius Gaming is providing. So I'm sorry if I stepped on anyone's toes there. Renekton isn't a traditional late game scaling champion, but his place in this team comp is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, it's definitely got to do when both those ults are out. It is actually so strong and so hard to deal with, and they just do so much. They go quite well together as well, as long as they got the damage, and that's what Tristana's going to do. She's going to be really careful not to get picked off in these big fights. Now, Nid wants to do is just as much poke as she can. If she can get people low before the big initiate, it's just going to be a really horrible fight. But I feel like the actual team comp together, the Noxius has a scary team fight as well. And if they can get a mean invis ball off, I'd love to see that sneak up shockwave on the Twitch. I really want to see that happen at some point. And here we go, it's Jarvan. That's the jungle talking about. There's the shockwave, there's the ult, and that's the wombo. Twitch killing Nami, Orianna killing Trist, and that's what we're talking about. That wombo, that Orianna, the J4, that big shockwave ultimate can actually just rip the team fight before we see any of the bursts come out from the other team.
Yeah, so much damage coming out. They were in that bush, they knew it wasn't warded, and they started a team fight, and they really took that Tristana and that Nami apart. J4 into Ori ult with Twitch's spray and pray on top of that was just huge. Stranglethorns was there for good measure, and it pretty much obliterated the AD carry and support for VGR out of black. Very well played.
And this is how this Dust plays. This is what I like about Dust. He's willing to sit in a bush, and he doesn't mind being a patient jungler. He knows that sometimes you just got to wait for the perfect opportunity to come and then be in the right position, and he's okay to sit in bushes. And that's why you've always got to be careful when you come against him, because you just don't know, is he sitting in the bush or is he jungling?
Yeah, Jarvan's such a scary jungler just because of that. If he's used effectively, which NX Dust is definitely using him, he is so high CC, pretty good mobility as well, and can just lock down those crucial targets with his Cataclysm, and he's having a very good game so far.
In the meantime, it's Dragon everyone's got their eyes on. They're interested in making a play around it, so they're hanging around. There's only wards coming up, but you got the good old use of Zyra's Seed. That's another thing you can use it for, just for vision. So Trist is just going to run on that, pop it, give them a sight of him for a few seconds, but they really just want to hide this Dragon. So therefore the team doesn't know if they're Dragon in or not, puts a bit of pressure on. They're going to ward it now, so they're going to see it. Nami's going to try clear, but she doesn't have vision. The pink's in the actual brush, not by the Dragon. So they're actually just going to back off here and leave Dragon open. I don't believe either team will make a move for it, but Jarvan is hitting around by the red, and Twitch is picking up the red. Sorry, I forgot Twitch was on Jarvan's team. Got excited there and wasn't making a play, just picking up the red buff.
No, he's getting gifted the red buff. Very nice of Jarvan. And it looks like Twitch has picked up a BF sword, but is aiming for the Blade of the Ruined King at the same time. He hasn't finished one of his core items yet, and I feel like he'd probably be a little bit more ahead if he had. If he had finished that Bloodthirst or Infinity Edge, or he'd finished the Blade of the Ruined King, he'd have a little bit more power than he has, while he's sitting in between those two huge items. He does have a lot of AD and a bit of lifesteal, but he could have a lot more of one or the other if he had spent that gold in a more useful way, in my opinion. But it's working out for him so far, as we saw in that ambush, so I think he knows what he's doing. And Nidalee is getting her mana and her ability power up as we go. She has finished that Rabadon's, is stacking her tier. It's at 750 out of 750, so she can get that Seraph's Embrace as soon as she purchases her arcane staff, so she's in a good place as well.
Yeah, that'll definitely give her a massive spike in her damage output as well, because that adds you so much to your AP, especially with the death cap already up, so it's just going to skyrocket. So that's going to be what he's really interested in getting out. He wants to get that out ASAP too, so that's going to be a really big help for that AP Nid.
It really is. So the Nidalee has gone back, and I'm just going to check what items to see she's purchased. She has got her Sorcerer's Shoes. She's also bought an Amplifying Tome. I'm not sure what she's going to turn that Amp Tome into. Could be a Void Staff, could be Seeker's Arm Guard or Haunting Guys or anything like that. But getting more AP and more spell penetration, which is definitely core to Nidalee's build. And her hit
certainly is
hitting quite hard at the moment.
The only worry I have about this Nidalee is I don't see how well it fits in with the team and their combination. It takes so much damage from Ori. I feel like Ori is the superior mid here, but if he plays a superb AP Nerd, as I said before, it can always happen. Those spears, one big spear shot could definitely change it. A big spear on the Twitch could take up most of his health when he has enough AP. So it always can be useful, and I'm excited to see if he can make it really work out for him later on when that AP is really high. But in the moment, they've got to be careful. J-Ball's around, and he's got the ball on. They're looking for that wombo combo, but they are just going to try to sneak this dragon. And they succeed so in doing so. And now they're going to follow it up with the tidal wave. They're going to chase it up. Good Zyra ult for the disengage, bumping them up. And they're going to drop Skyfall right on top of that. Nasus is going to take a lot of the damage, and he will go down. Renekton's up there, tilted up. And you see an awesome shockwave on both the AD and the support, really rocking them. Tristana knows she's going to get out of here now. She's a little bit worried. She's trying to help. The wall is getting out. Renek's running. And this Pantheon, really strong pick for them. Actually, they're really good sky drop. Rocks the Nasus really well with the J4. And it's just really good team comp coming out in the Noxius. They know how to initiate, and that's the spears I'm talking about. They can actually just rock Twitch. He's got to be careful not to get picked by them, but they're just going to disengage here. They're okay. They're happy with what they got, and they might sneak a kill. Really good. She's going to commit. She's going all in. It could be bad. Here comes the stun. She's going to die. She will take out the Twitch, though, so it's 80 for 80. All in plays coming out from the Tristana. Crazy. That team fight went for a while, but it really, really good. This is what about, though. This Pantheon pick, running at top, unconventional, but really making it work. Really good sky drops. He might fall off late, but in the meantime, he's an absolute nuisance.
He is really a nuisance at the moment. He's got a Black Cleaver and a Last Whisper, and the amount of damage he does is almost true damage with his AD ratios. It's really good. He's also running 21 points in offense, taking all the armor penetration in there, and he's also got armor penetration runes. So the amount of damage he does is fairly disgusting when it comes down to it, especially against these low HP targets that haven't stacked armor just yet. He's in a very good place. He's 4-0-1. He's got quite considerable CS as well.
And now Orianna getting a bit beaten up in the mid lane, might be in trouble. Got the exhaust, she's going to run, and turns around. That's what I'm talking about. Dust, always in the right place, rotates up to mid and just crushes the Nid. And that Orianna in the last team fight also did really well. She threw her ball on top of the Tristana and the Nami, separated from the team and shockwaved them, putting them both down to half health, forcing the Tristana back. Orianna's actually playing a fantastic game.
She really has been. The Orianna is 2-1-6. She's got a Rabadon's Death Cap. She's got a Morella Nomicon. Stacking that tear up, it's at 652 out of her 750 stacks, and is definitely getting there in terms of a core itemization. 362 AP at the moment, which is a little bit more than the 280 that this Nidalee is running. So NX Aerial really showing off his skills as a mid laner.
Yeah, and has always been solid throughout the whole tournament. He's played it quite a bit, and every time it's really dominated that mid lane. So that's something really scary that they have in their arsenal. If you don't ban Orianna, you can expect it to come out and be a real nuisance. And they are just going to go get this top tower. That's the top 2 tower done, the tier 2 tower done. Pantheon picks up the last hit. Doesn't matter though. Gold is shared between the teams, so they're going to be happy there. And look at this ward control throughout the jungle. They've got the whole jungle warded. They're going to have to get an oracles or they're going to be in trouble. Nami does not have one on at the moment. Actually, there is no oracles coming out of their team, so they're going to need to get one because at the moment their whole jungle is revealed.
Yeah, and Zyra has gotten oracles as well. This Zyra has been really on point with picking up the oracles and warding up everything so aggressively. She doesn't go for items other than that MOBA boots, that Philosopher's Stone, the Ruby Sight Stone, and then she just buys as many wards as she can fit into her inventory. Just amazing support play coming out. It's sacrificing her own core itemization to provide her team with the vision they need to control the map, and it's obviously working out for them. The score is 10-7 in favor of Noxius Gaming. The gold count is 38.5k to 35.6k, so 3,000 gold lead. And Noxius Gaming are looking pretty good as they enter this later game phase, as we now reach the 27-minute mark.
Yeah, that seems to be the trends of the tournament. At the moment, the meta seems to be you want a jungler who can buy the support items that were more traditional for the support to pick up, like the Aegis, like the Locket. You now get that on the jungler. That enables the support to spend its money on the dealing with the vision game, buying the oracles, getting the wards out, clearing, making sure you have vision. Lets the support concentrate on that. The jungle takes a bit of pressure off. There's not so much gold in the jungle anyway, so the tanky items benefit the junglers. And that's where both teams really have been aiming at this whole best of 5.
Yeah, they really have been. So Pantheon trading onto Renekton in the top lane. So much damage coming out of this Renekton. I'm completely blown away. He's actually nearly burst down a Renekton. So imagine a squishier target against this Pantheon. Gonna have so much trouble. Pantheon's actually picked up a Bilgewater Cutlass, and I'm assuming he's gonna turn that into a Blade of the Ruin King, so his auto attack trades between his AD combo is a little bit more effective, as well as his chase potential with the Blade of the Ruin King active. So really well played.
Maybe he's going to make us change our mind about Pantheon. Maybe Pantheon does have a late game we don't know about. We've just been building him horribly wrong. We'll find out. But in the meantime, it's been a really great pickup. It had a few weaker, it was a little bit weaker in the early levels, but that's where Dust came in with his J4 to make sure that it could get up, get that lane advantage, and now we're seeing that really pay off. The Pantheon being 4 kills and 1 assist with no deaths and quite farmed up with 226 CS.
Yeah, he's incredibly impressive. Traditionally, Pantheons don't do so well in the top lane, and they don't scale as well as most other bruisers, but he's been proving us wrong. His core itemization is absolutely brilliant, and huge props to him for being able to play this Pantheon this well. It's a real treat to watch. And a comment coming out in chat, the game is going to get worse for Noxius Gaming the later this game goes. Do you agree with the comment, or do you feel like Noxius Gaming are still going to keep up that real effective momentum that they have at the moment?
Well, we have talked about how we feel the late game does actually favor VGR, but at the same time, you just can't deny that wombo combo potential. I feel like the wombo's way stronger for the Noxius, and we're going to see it right now. Here you go. It's the dig sky drop, and with the shockwave, the big walls are up. Nessus and Renekton both have their ults up, trying to take as much damage as they can. Orianna's putting out the damage. They need to try and pick off the Ori, but they're not going to be able to. Pantheon's now up, causing all sorts of trouble. The wombo's just too strong. The team fight coming out of Noxius is way too powerful. And I find that's just given them the edge. Maybe if it gets late enough, they can outscale and just outdo the damage. If Pantheon starts dropping, but they just have to be careful. They can't let them get these dream initiates with Jarvan and Orianna.
Yeah, Jarvan and Orianna have been so effective in forcing these team fights, as well as this Pantheon sky drops. It adds a little bit of wombo to the combo, and it's been so effective. He picked up another assist in that last fight. He has finished his Blade of the Ruined King. Jarvan is just tanking up. He's opted to get a Locket of the Iron Solari this game, considering he doesn't feel like Bulwark is core in his itemization against just a Nidalee that is going to be doing ability power damage. So that's a pretty clever pickup in my opinion. The Locket of the Iron Solari will help against a couple of the AoE abilities that Team VGR.Black are bringing to the foray. So Renekton and Nessus, both of their ultimates do AoE damage, and Locket of the Iron Solari will nullify that a little bit. I feel like he should get a Bulwark anyway to help out later on, and it looks like he is stepping into that now. So it's very clever itemization. It goes to show you that you should never build like a shopping list of items. You should always decide based on the scenario what items are best for you and your team. And that looks like what NX Dust has done, and I'd say he's done it very effectively.
Yeah, on top of that, another big note I can tell you from when I was a competitive player is to always remember to check your opponent's items at the start of the game to see what they've started with. Don't assume they've gone standard, because as a support player, I've been punished for people doing surprise starts like 3 pink wards and completely falling for it and being punished. So do check items, not everything is standard, and as you said, shop for the conditions, don't just follow your shopping list. And we're going to see a sky drop from Pantheon. I don't even know where he's going. He's going down by the Baron. He's looking around.
Casually avoids a 5-man gang, doing a little small sky drop to, clear that distance. Well played by the Pantheon. Casually hidden the brush, casually casted a sky drop, and casually got away. That's nonchalance for you. And
there's just so much vision around this Baron. They're thinking about doing Baron. They don't know that they're actually about to hit their mid-tower shove. They might have the decision, do we want Baron or do we want to lose our tower? They're going to go all in, so they're picking the Baron. They're going to get it as well, but it will cost them a lot. How do you feel? What would you rather have, the Baron buff or your mid inhib?
It depends. If they can cancel the recalls in any way, shape or form, it's going to be very well worth it. The inhibitor is going down, although they have traded a lot of that team fighting potential that they do have for that Baron buff. The inhibitor is down, but the Baron buff that Team VGR.Black have just picked up will offset the advantage of Team Noxus's team comp. So Jarvan and Orianna are going to be less useful considering how much extra ability power, extra attack damage, and extra HP and mana regen VGR.Black have now. So
the important thing there though is they had decided to go for the Baron, and they made the right decision in order to stick to that. Once they had realized where the other team was, it would have been too late to react and get there in time anyway. The tower was always going to go down. So they made the right decision at that point to stay on the Baron. It's whether going for the Baron in the first place was the right idea, but it all depends what they can do with this Baron buff now. If they can make it work for them, if they can use it to really turn this game and grab the advantage, then inhibitor will respawn, and then they can balance it out from there and have the upper hand. So they've got to use this Baron well.
Yeah, so it looks like the best decision for VGR.Black right now would be to push down the mid wave with their Baron buff. Now, not only would this eliminate the super creep advantage that Noxius Gaming picked up when they took down the inhibitor, but it would give them a point of how to use that Baron buff to their advantage, because you obviously want to make plays when you have it, because it is such a huge bonus to your team. So it would be a great decision to push down the mid wave and eliminate that inhibitor advantage that Team Noxius Gaming bought for themselves.
And I wanted to say the Zara is doing a fantastic job of making sure wards are constantly up and running around that Oracle is constantly de-warning. He even got mobility boots just to get around quicker because she knows that's her job. This is what support's about now. You've got to make sure they have no vision. Removing the vision is so strong. It's forcing them all back into their base. They don't know what the other team is up to. And look, they're standing there protecting the Tristana while she farms right in front of the mid tower. Well, what was the mid tower that is now gone. So removing the vision is actually so effective, and they can just see all through this jungle. They're going to know where the enemy is at all times, and that just gives them a real upper hand against this Baron buff.
It really does, yeah. So, Zerathul's Tristana is getting so farmed, sitting on 306 CS, has 3 core items in the form of Infinity Edge, Phantom Dancer, and Last Whisper. So his damage is going to start rising exponentially from this point onwards. He's probably going to get a Blade of the Ruined King and maybe a GA, but right now he's pretty much hit the core of his damage. So he's at 33 minutes into the game and will be doing so much work. And we need to see him shred down these high HP targets, and I think he's going to be able to.
Yeah, and if anyone has just come into the stream, this is the grand final of the tournament been running this weekend from Oceanic Gaming Rumble in the Jungle, and we are in our 5th game of the best of 5 in the grand final. So this is going to decide who is the winner. This game right here, that's why so much is on the line. And in the meantime, we see a little pressure coming down mid. I don't think that VGR want to have this fight. They do not have Rennick, and Pantheon can easily skydrop into that mid lane and make it a 5v4.
Yeah, most definitely. So, the wave has just been cleared in the mid wave. The mid wave has just been cleared, and it doesn't look like there's a big push coming from Team VGR.Black. So they haven't used this Baron buff to the fullest. However, they did take it away as an objective from Noxius Gaming, which is always a good thing to do. The inhibitor is going to respawn in just under a minute now. The message hasn't popped up saying an inhibitor is respawning soon, and we will know how long it's going to be as soon as that message pops up.
And that is my mistake. I completely forgot Renekton is running a teleport, so at any point this could become a 5v5. That is why he's split pushing bot, because he has the ability to TP in. They just have to expect him to be a few seconds late, but they have Nasus. He can stall out as the wall until Renekton comes, and then they got both the brothers, and that's when it's really powerful. And if they can just protect that Trist to get the damage out, it's going to get good. And it only gets better for them the later the game goes. However, they just got to be so careful of that wombo combo coming out in the Oxys. It is so powerful, and that J4 Orianna works so well together to make sure they get it down. So just be careful, but there we go with those spears. If those spears hit up Twitch, they actually do so much damage. You can force them back before the fight comes, and here we go. Tristana just putting on that passive stab to attack speed, really chopping down the tower, but just got to be careful because Jarvan's going to jump straight on. We're going to have a Skyfall right down on that J4 ult, but they are going to get out of that AoE range, and Rennick is here now. To come help his brother. His brother's been slain. He wants revenge, but he's going to have to back out. They can't really commit to this, but they have weakened the mid tower at least. Not all the health heroes. They're going to think about recalling, but there's too much pressure. They have to stay around. At this point, Nidalee is really effective. One of those rogue spears, if it hits someone, they most likely will die, as a lot of them are low health. Twitch is to back out, and they are just going to take this tower and move back.
Yeah, that was really well played. I think a big part of that was that Orianna actually whiffed her command shockwave. She had the ball on Jarvan's head, he got out of the range, the ball snapped back to Orianna, and she fired the shockwave, and it missed everyone, unfortunately. So that does happen, that is life. You can see it happen in pro games as well, and it was just unfortunate that NX Aerial wasn't able to get that. So the inhibitor did respawn in a minute like we thought, and it looks like NX have already arrived, and they're going to take this away almost immediately. It also looks like they were trying to siege the top turret at the same time. They're actually being forced to back away from this inhibitor. Nice posturing by Team VGR.Black.
They are going to turn around. They really want it, because that really makes the Baron trade worth it if they can get it back again, get the double in it. But they're going to initiate. Both the Sand Brothers are in there, taking a lot of damage. This position they want to be in. The shockwave didn't hit Tristana, so she's good help at the back line. This is where she needs to be. This is a dream fight. She can just pump out damage in this situation. Here she goes. Another kill going up from the double. And they're going to chase. Tristan's got to run. Twitch is going to run. I'm all over the place. This is so exciting. And that's their dream fight. If they can get these brothers up front, Rennick, Nessus, tanking it up with their ults up. If Tristana can stay back, if she can dodge the Orianna, she can pump out so much damage. That's what happened on the last fight they won. It's been a while, but we saw it again then. They couldn't reach the Trist. And that's the strength in this lineup. Having such big walls with a hyper carry like Twist, they don't even need a creep wave to push this tower. They're just going to have turns tanking it with the brothers. They don't mind. Trist is going to just destroy this tower in no time. And now both teams have an open inhib.
Really well played.
And this Tristana going ham, just jumping around, going right in on that Zara, now going for the inhib. They're going to be able to take this uncontested. No one's to stop. Twitch is hanging around, but he's low health, and that's the inhib. And that's what happens if you have a bad fight versus these walls. Such strong walls of Nessus and Renekton and Tristana, the perfect hero to have behind it, just pumping out so much damage.
Oh, this is so exciting. Seeing those Divot brothers in action, they are just so infuriating to play up against. They both fire the ultimates, and they are just unkillable. Mantheon is grand skyfalling. Is he going to be able to get this in Italy? And yes, he is. Nice execute there. Jarvan picking up the assist as well. They're going to be feeling pretty good about that. The game isn't over yet by any means necessary. There's still 200 gold difference between the two teams. I can't believe it's so close after that entire play. Noxius Gaming has just been ahead for so much that they've built up a good lead, and now the gold is finally even.
Well, this is the difference between the two lineups. If Noxius get their combo, which they got quite a few times in a row, they can absolutely devastate the team fight, but they've got to get that Tristana. If they just waste their time on the walls and Trist can pop them down, the fight can go easily the other way. And that's what's so interesting about this lineup. It's all about execution in this final best of 5, and it's all going to come down who can initiate these team fights the best and get this set up right. Trista's going to be smart. She cannot afford to get picked off. Orianna can't afford to miss another ult. She needs to hit them in the clutch moments, and they've just got to really make it work for them. And it's anyone's game right now.
It really is. And NX just picked up that Baron buff, and they are going to start the siege on this inhibitor, and I think they can get it. Nidalee hasn't respawned yet, so it is currently a 5v4 in Noxious Gaming's favor, and they are going to pick up the inhibitor and back off. So there's no inhib to no inhib. Ping is going down on Dragon and bottom lane for Noxious. So it looks like Noxious Gaming is going to go pick up the Dragon, then start shoving down that bot wave. They do have the Baron buff, so if they team fight, they're going to feel pretty up. They're going to have a bit of an advantage. Baron buff does give you some bonus stats that are really, really nice, especially at this stage in the game. Orianna's also gone back to pick up this blue buff. It looks like the members of NX are going to steal a blue buff away as well.
So just both teams doing what they can, but that really shows off how important it is not to get picked. You really cannot afford to get picked at a time like this. That Nid just got picked up by one Sky drop, a little bit out of position, and suddenly they pay with an inhib. That's what's going to keep happening in this game. Any mistake, you're going to have to pay the ultimate price because both teams are just waiting for them. Both reactive teams just really keen to make you pay for every little mistake you make, and that's how they both plan on winning this game.
Yeah, it's so true. I feel like VGR.Black are playing this really well. They've picked up 2 Oracle's elixirs. There's one on Nami and there's one on Nasus. And they are aggressively clearing wards. And this is what you're supposed to do at this point in the game. You deny your opposing team vision, you set up wards of your own, and you look to make opportunities while the team is unaware of where you are. And they definitely have the team to do that. Tristana, Renekton, Nasus, Nami, and Nidalee, they can catch out heroes so easily and apply a lot of damage to them. So it's definitely the right strategy.
I'd just like to say, Pantheon has picked up a Guardian's Angel, so that's now up on him, and that gives him an extra life to help him out, because he is all in glass cannon apart from that, gone straight damage, and now if he gets a little bit out of position and chopped out, he has a chance to come back up and do a little bit more, and that could be quite useful in these big team fights.
Yeah, most definitely. Now it looks like NX are arranging their 5-man at the bot lane. Pantheon is split pushing it in the mid lane, but he does have Grand Skyfall. So if
and Jarvan's looking to stand up the side. They want to put the ball on him and get the really good initiate. No, he's just warding. I'm just dreaming he's making a massive play. He's not going to do it. No, he might do. He's hanging around. He wants to jump. You know this guy. He loves to do it. There he goes. They're not going to get played. There's no way to defending that tower. They know it's going straight down. And Pantheon's just going to split push in mid, keep the pressure on. He can sky jump in at any point, and here's what it comes. They need another really good fight. Tristan's going to be careful. She can't afford to take big damage like that, but they got 2 heals. They got Nid heal, and they've got Nami heal, so they can stop a bit of poke caress on their carry.
Yeah, well played by Noxious to just pick up that turret, pretty much uninterfered with. The Baron buff does have about 30 seconds left on it, and before that does disintegrate, and they're going to be in a good position until then, and then I think they might actually peel away, and we might see them wait out another Baron respawn before something happens. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. They don't want to they want to push while they have the advantage, and they want to sit back when they don't.
And they're looking at making something happen now. The Giant Force is just going to jump straight in, and he's going right on the Nami, actually. Trista's doing a good job at getting right out of there. She wants to make sure she's not going to be in any trouble. She's going hard on the Pantheon. Pantheon's going on. We got both the brothers tanking it up. Nasus does go down. Renekton's getting low. Has to back out. But this Trist still pumping out 80 damage, but it's all going on the J4. Still a full health Twitch out there. They're 80 carry. They're going to have to go back. They've lost Nasus, so now it's a 5v4. That's quite a big loss, actually. The walls, I believe, just got too forward, and though Tristana was pumping out damage, it was all on the J4, and they couldn't actually pick anyone out.
And I can't believe they actually won that fight because Orianna missed her ultimate again. It fired on her head, Jarvan got out of range, and that seems to be a growing trend. This is the final game in a best of 5. These guys have been playing for 7 or 8 hours now, and they are getting tired, and it's very understandable that she does miss her ult. And it's unfortunate because it was in a really good place if she did manage to fire it on top of the Jarvan.
Yeah, that Orianna ult is so scary, so they are quite lucky she missed that, and maybe that's why they only got away with losing one hero, so they can be quite thankful that they're still in this game, and that's what it is. Little mistakes like that can actually be so costly, and if they don't end up winning this game, she's going to be really mad about the 2 big ultimates she did miss.
Yeah, if they don't win this game, it's something she needs to work on. It's not her fault by any means necessary, but it's something that they can always improve on, and you should always be looking to find your own weaknesses and improve on them so you are stronger for the coming games in the future.
That's deep, brother. But it is true. It is what they need, and they will get there. You can tell this team already has such good synergy with each other. The jungler always is walking around, helping out the right lanes. The support always just warding, de-warding. You see Zyra at it again at the Baron, walking around, always has their oracles up. So they work so well together, and they helped out. The Pantheon got the extra help at the start, which they even refunded to everyone by just smashing their lanes. They invested in the Pantheon, he repaid, the jungler does well, their support does well, and their team is really, really well balanced. And that's what I really like about this Noxius team. They seem to have a really good balance of players who really know their roles.
Yeah, Pantheon has got that GA now. He's sitting on nearly 5 items. He's actually just completed his last item, more of my Mortalist. We have a 6-item Pantheon. I did not expect this. Absolutely love seeing it. So, fantastic build. He got his late game item kit at 44 minutes and is definitely going to be useful for his team for the next 5 or 10 minutes before the rest of VGN.Black pick up their full item builds as well. So well played by Jasmine Tealeaf. Huge props to him for pulling off the first successful late game Pantheon I've ever seen. And definitely proving me wrong in how well Pantheon scales. So they're sitting up in a bush. I'm not sure if this is watered or not. Tristana's actually coming to check it. Pantheon stood out of the bush though. That's really
Pantheon, mate.
Because it could have got that Tristana out, and that could have been the game in the bag.
Yeah, Tristana's going to be more careful than that. She really can't allow herself to get picked off. The problem is they've just got wards all throughout that jungle. The Zyra's been going really hard, and shoutouts to her on her support. She's been so good at that ward control, and that's really helped them out.
It really has. So the inhibitor has spawned again. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time that they've been back to siege it again. Just one of those games. And they're looking to take this one away. Baron buff should actually be back up soon. So they might be hitting there. If they've timed it, they'll know exactly when it spawns. They'll be able to ward up and get some vision. And they might even set up as the bait situation before the wards have come down from VGR.Black rather, and get into it. So Baron did spawn, it was timed perfectly by them, and they've already started it, and they're pretty much melting through its HP pool. They have a lot of damage, and it's going to be shredded before VGR.Black have even realized it's up, really. And it looks like
they have got it. I think they're going to be a little bit surprised when they get there and realize the full Baron team will be waiting for them, but they might be able to quickly sneak out this inhibitor if they go for it really quickly, but they've got to be careful, especially if this home guard's up. The Skyfall's coming down. Here's Orianna as well, so they need to be really careful. They're going to get out. The Trista's at the back. So Trista's fine, but she rocket jumps into the Zyra stun. Now she's going to be really careful. The tanks are going really well. Renek's going really hard in there, but Nasus has already been picked off. But now there's both the brothers gone. They can't do anything. They're going to have to run now. It's going to be really scary for them.
And this could be the end of the game. 2 members are down for the next minute. So they have a minute window in a 5v3, and that is never good. And it could be that the Java and the Pantheon just dive on top of the remaining heroes from VGR.Black, and we could be witnessing the end of this best of 5.
Yeah, it was like I said at the beginning, I felt like the Nidalee didn't really fit within the team comp. It's not really a poke lineup, and I felt like she didn't have the glue that the Orianna brought to their team through that mid with that massive support and damage that she can do, and that just game-changing ultimate. But they did well, and they had it really close. That Tristana got a few good moments, but I just feel like the team comp and the Wombo combo just proved too much. And it looks like Noxius is going to take this final away, I believe.
And they are hitting in so hard on this Nexus turret. Royal Chocobo actually gets away on Nidalee, and the shutdown comes out.
And that's going to shut down. That's going to be GG. Really well played by the Noxius.
Congrats, well played. GG's. And
they were 2-1 down at one point, winning the next final 2 games, 1 in a 20-minute stomp. Comfortable win to start with, really strong Orianna every time that was played. They have a fantastic jungler, really strong team. I'm not surprised they won. Congratulations to them. I hope they've had a good tournament. Unlucky to our team that came second, but they should feel proud. VGR did really well, brought it to 5 games. 5 games they had. No one could take the 3, went all the way to the ends, just pinched out. What a great final.
That was absolutely amazing. So guys, you just saw VGR.Black play against Noxius Gaming, and we saw Noxius Gaming win that game. And it was the last game in a best of 5. The score was 2-2, and they did take that away. It was an absolutely huge series. It was an absolutely huge day, and I thank you all so much for your support throughout the day. It really means a lot to us, and it gives us the inspiration to keep doing what we do. So thank you so much for that. Before you guys go anywhere, make sure you have liked our Facebook pages. I'm just going to put the links into chat for you. This helps us out. Having numbers is always good for sponsors and everything like that. So make sure you like us before you go away. And hit that follow button on the stream. The videos from all of today, all of the streamed matches will be out on YouTube. So make sure you do check that out. We're going to sign off for tonight. But thanks again for your support. And we'll see you next Thursday for the community event. So